While Australia Zoo's centrepiece, the Crocoseum, is under renovation, we've decided to do something a little bit different in the crocodile department. We are throwing it back to the early 2000s by doing the original croc demonstrations in the triple pond. What are the triple ponds, you ask? Well, they are 3 crocodile ponds, as the name would suggest, that Dad originally built as a real resort for crocodiles. Beautiful crystal clear heated ponds with brilliant areas to bask, amazing tropical plant furnishings, and a lot of room because he wanted to house our quickest and most hard-hitting crocs there, where they could really strike and let out all of that predatory energy. Now, Dad absolutely loved feeding in the triple ponds, that's no question. And every day, thousands of guests would flood in to watch this really intimate style of croc demonstration.
Here it is, our brand new state-of-the-art crocodile facility. We've used every single piece of knowledge that we've gained over the years to develop this, what we call the triple crocs. And as you can see, they love it. They defend this area with their life. It's all about their territory. And it didn't come easy. By crikey, there was a lot of construction went into this.
After the Crocoseum was built, that really took centre stage. But we decided it was about time to throw it back and feed those crocs just how Dad did. And I tell you what, the triple shows have been going off. We've got 3 beautiful crocs that we feed in there, which is, of course, Bosco, Occy, and Aggro. Bosco was originally rescued from the wild and has always had an attitude that is just 0 to 100. He'll sit there so motionless, but when he commits to a strike, holy moly, it makes me nervous just thinking about it. Then, of course, Occy. He's much lighter. Dad rescued him in the late 80s, and he's always been a very cunning croc. He likes to really think through every situation, and he's very reactive to footsteps. So it's fun to watch him because he acts exactly how a wild crocodile would. Then, of course, the big bloke, the biggest crocodile at Australia Zoo, Aggro. He's massive. He was caught nearly 40 years ago, and he was a big territory-holding male back then. Unfortunately, he was getting a little bit too close to people and to cattle, and a lot of people didn't like him. So Dad went out and rescued him to make sure he could live the rest of his life in peace and comfort. But tell you what, there's never a thank you for that from Aggro. He'll always try and get you every single time. So he's not silly. He'll sit and he'll watch and he'll wait for you to get a little bit too close. When he does those jaw pops though, when his jaws come together, wow, you can feel it in your chest, in your soul, and it makes my legs hurt. Then, of course, we have something very special, a little extra surprise. Man, the myth, the legend, Aggro. Now, Aggro was the star of the Crocodile Hunter. He's always been the hardest hitting croc. He always, I mean every single time, he hunts you, and it's really cool to see because he knows he's in murky water. So he doesn't just come out and get his food, he actively tries to get the big piece of food, which is usually me, the one feeding him. Now, Aggro is part of our environmental park crocodiles. And the environmental park was really the true OG. It was the first set of crocodile habitats that Dad ever built. And he quite literally hand-built these habitats. Beautiful, murky water ponds, so crocs could live exactly how they do out in the wild. Mum and I were actually just talking about it. The first time we jumped in there with Aggro to give him a feed, it had been nearly 20 years since the last time she'd been in there feeding him. And the first time she ever fed Aggro was 30 years ago. Isn't that wild? The habitat that we feed him is actually the very place that Mum and Dad first met when she first came to Australia all those years ago.
So I came into this environmental park and I was standing right where you guys are. And after the demonstration, I said hi to Steve and he's like, "Where are you from?" And I said, "You know, Oregon, home of the salamander." And he said, "What's your favorite animal?" And I said, "My favorite animal is definitely a cougar." Because you have to remember in 1991, cougars were animals. So he said, "Why is a cougar your favorite animal?" And I thought, no one ever asked me that. So I thought about it and I thought, I think it's because they can kill something bigger than themselves just with their teeth. And he looked all romantic and he said, "That's why I love crocodiles." And then it was at that moment, I don't know why I didn't notice sooner, but that's when I noticed that majestic and marvelous mullet.
So those are our 4 beautiful crocs, and it's very important that we keep them striking, that we teach our guests about crocodiles by letting them react exactly how they would in the wild. It's a special thing, and it's all about legacy. So many people that come into the zoo now say, "Wow, I remember watching your dad doing this, and it's so surreal to see it all these years later." And that's such a great compliment for us because that's what it's all about. It's all about continuing his legacy.